Shalom. In Parashat Vaera, Parashat of this Shabbat, it talks about the seven plagues out of the 10 plagues that Paro and Mitzrayim received because of their enslavement to the Jews. And clearly they were devastating, all of them. It took significant toll economically and human suffering and prestige and everything else. And still, after each one, the Torah says that he hardened his heart and he didn't send it. So it seems that it is really stupid that he's seeing what is going on in his country. Is he jahish? Is he stupid or what? In fact, his own advisors in next Parashat Bo, it says that send them already. You didn't realize yet that Mitzrayim, that Egypt is gone, is decimated. So now we think that, you know what, this is really, Paro is stupid. However, if we look on ourselves in an analytical way, we find that each one of us does have Paro in ourselves. Each one of us, each human being basically, has some self-destructive behavior, some self-damaging behavior. We do know that, for example, drug addicts, they know that what they are doing is dead-end road. It's gonna destroy them. If not physically, they die, they are going to lose their family, their finance, their relationship, and everything else. Still, they do it. Gamblers. I have a patient who told me that her husband told her that when he dies, he wants to be cremated and his ashes be thrown near the bay of Harrah's Casino in Atlantic City. He said that during my lifetime they took everything from me and let them take me after he's dead. And you can see here how much he was intense on gambling. We do know as simple things that waking up late in the morning and then rush everything else, and or smoking, so there is really no one who is free of self-destructive behavior. We know that. We talked about that, in fact, a couple of years ago. However, we need to change. The question is, how do we change? It is clear it is not easy to change. We do all know that each one of us on Rosh Hashanah and on the secular New Year, we take resolutions, and basically none of them get executed practically. We gonna pray a minyan, we're gonna sali, we're gonna do any kind of mitzvot. Sometimes it is challenge. We do know in alcohol and drug rehabilitation arena, which is something that I deal with, the relapse rate is between 40 to 60%. It's extremely high. Smoking also, they say that if somebody, after a year of quitting smoking completely, there is still 40% chance of rehab. Only after 5 years, the relapse rate comes down to 10%. So here we can see that changing behavior is not easy. So, and why? Why it is so? Why it is that difficult? Number one is, I believe to a large extent, genetics are determined. I know a friend of mine who just simply cannot get up from bed early on. His biological clock is later. It's like he goes in California time, 3 hours later, and he simply could not change since he was teenager. Now he is grandfather, and he still has the same habit. By the time he gets up, like in Arabic say, darab darab wal atal atal, and he's still asleep. Because it's biology. Number two, it could be health-related problem. For example, if somebody does have arthritis, it's very difficult for him to do exercise. If somebody has asthma, if somebody has COPD, some impediment in his health, he cannot ask him to increase his exercise because it's difficult. It's possible. He should have ingenuity to go about it the right way and do it. But it is difficult. We have to realize that because we have to have every person who needs to change needs to have all the help that he can get. And the first part of help is to know that there is impediment to his change. The other thing is that changing means that there is going to be something unknown. We don't know what's going to happen. For example, I do know myself that I am a physician, and thank God we have a busy practice. But I do know, I have impression that if I was in the business world, probably I will do better. And so why I don't go that way? It is difficult to give up something that is known for something that is unknown and it is uncertain. This is human nature. It has to be realized. Number two, change can be challenging. There is going to be mockery by the colleagues and family members. There is going to be to give up something that is comfortable, that is suitable for us. So people shy away from that, and probably the uncertainty is the most difficult part. So we have to realize that change is difficult. However, we must change. I probably many of you did read a book that was on the list of bestseller for 5 years, Who Moved My Cheese? Basically, two rats and two human beings, they used to go to eat cheese, and then they found a place where there is cheese, so every day they used to go. And then one time the two rats went there. They realized that there is no cheese. However, they were not surprised. They expected that. In the meantime, they were looking for another place to find cheese, and they did find it. However, the two humans, Ho and Mo, and do cheese, which their name means uncertainty. They didn't expect that. They didn't change. They didn't change their behavior. They didn't think forward, and all of a sudden they found themselves that they have without cheese, and they stay hungry. And one of them, I think, maybe, he said that who moved my cheese? That he is victim. That they didn't treat him well. They didn't give him warning, knowing that he did give him warning. So what he has to change. The change is part of life. There is and many organizations. I mean, they're always thinking what could happen, what if, and they have to change with that. So it has changed. So how can we do that? Number two, we have to realize that change comes in certain steps. However, the trajectory of that step is not only unidirectional. There is zigzagging, that you move forward and then you move backward, forward and backward. And the stages are quickly, the first one is the pre-contemplation. Like, for example, you tell somebody to stop smoking. I do that every day many times. They will say, yeah, I should stop, I know. But they don't have any conscious determination to change their habit. Then there is this phase of contemplation that, the daughter is telling me many times, my wife is upset with me, my grandson is upset with me, I really should change it, I don't feel good. So here he said that, I have to change. And then there will be the preparation after New Year or after Rosh Hashanah, I'm going to stop smoking. And then the action, which is the that I'm going to take medication to help me, or I'm going to instead of cigarette I have to chew gum, or I'm going to put patch. And then the maintenance phase is probably the most difficult, because the same reason that we said that change is difficult will remain. It doesn't change. If it is the unknown, or the genetics, or the health, or the nature of the person, it stays there, and there are always excuses to go back. We see that all the time. So from here we can see that we have to bear in mind that relapse, to have maintenance, we have to realize that relapse is part of the change. So if when people go to gym, and because their doctor told them that the American Heart Association said that you have to exercise for 2.5 hours strenuous exercise a week, they do it, and then there is issues. They went on vacation, or it is too cold, or he's not in a mood. He had a job that has consumed all his free time, and he can't do it. It's understood. It is part of the change. If somebody put that in mind, that it is not a failure, but he has to switch gear and go back to what he was doing the proper way, in a constructive way, chances of success will be much higher. Because even erah, he will tell us that, you know what, now I didn't go to shul, or I didn't study, or whatever good he is doing. Once he labs for a week, he'll tell him it's all over, it's not for me, I'm doing fine, doing what I'm doing. But this is erah. This is also self-destruction. In the medical field, we said about also drug relapse. It is part of life that if somebody was taking medication not to use illicit drugs, and he used them once or twice for any reasons, usually not good reasons, it doesn't mean that it is all over, that he is failure, that he failed. It means that this is part of the change, that I have to switch gear. If somebody was going to Philadelphia and he took the wrong exit, he should not continue on the wrong track. He should change and go back to the right track and go on. So here we see that we have to realize that each one of us does have a behavior that is not productive. In fact, it can be destructive. We have to realize that. We have to list the opinion and the input of our friends and our family to tell us what are those behaviors. We have to identify them. We have to realize why we are having those behaviors. Is it too comfortable for us, or we are predisposed to those behaviors, and establish serious, actionable way to change it, knowing that the road is not going to be easy, and relapse is part of the change, and be ready to change course during that road. If we do that, we will realize that we will get into constructive behavior, and that will be better for us, for our family, and for our community. I hope that Hashem will help us. That we always say that any endeavor that we go to, we should enlist the help of Hashem, because without it, it's very difficult. In fact, it is impossible to do something good. Shabbat Shalom.